This conference will now be recorded.
Thanks for joining. I think yesterday we mostly discussed about how the what is the importance of Splunk, and we have understood, right? What is a monolithic architecture, what is microservices architecture, and we have gone through the SLA, service level agreement, and the service level objectives and service level indicators and error budget, and why all these things, right, important to for any of the observability tool. And we have understood, right, what is observability and what is monitoring, and why observability is very much important in nowadays as a monitoring tool. We should know what is observability, and what are the metrics, logs, and traces, right? How these metrics, how those logs, and how the traces will be helpful for us to trace any of the issues, and why these traces are logs, and why we need to evaluate first of all system performance. So and what is the connecting the dots. So from if you take any retail website homepage to order confirmation page, how the Splunk or any of the observability tool helpful for us to evaluate the system application performance, and we can generate the report, and we can visualize the trends. So why we need to visualize the trends, right? Because we if we want to if you want to evaluate, and if you want to predict something, definitely we need some data, so that based on that only we can evaluate. So let me share my screen. So continuing with that, we'll dig deeper today, and tomorrow I will explain how to get those enterprise 60 days free Splunk in our machine. And tomorrow, right, I will help you to install the Splunk, and tomorrow we will start main Splunk. Try to don't miss, and try to join the class at any cost tomorrow. Tomorrow also will be very much important class for us. uh, Hope everyone is able to see my screen, right?
Yes, it's visible.
Correct. As we discussed yesterday, right? Why the Splunk? If we take today, if we dig deeper into the Splunk introduction, right? Splunk evolved significantly from origin. It's a log management tool to become powerful platform for data analytics. If you see log earlier, even 10 years before, or when this Splunk started, right, we used to just validate the logs. If any issue occurs, we used to go to that Splunk, and we used to validate only logs, and what happened, error logs, all those stuff. But now if you see the Splunk, any machine learning course if you take, right, Splunk will play key role on visualizing the data. Now data is very much important, and this data is based for Splunk, and Splunk is provide us Splunk will be helpful for us to evaluate and what actually going inside. So it will take the logs from different sources, and it will provide a real-time search as well, and it will give us generating the report. So what Splunk will do, right? Splunk will transforms its machine data into valuable insights. What machine data? So whenever you are seeing this machine learning platforms, even though as I said, right, yesterday, if you say retail site, so whatever the data it will generate each and every second, some tons of data it will generate. It will be totally raw data, right, and multiple servers. So if you see the cloud, right, if you have big retail website, it will be very hard to go through those container log and read it and evaluate what actually it will take days. But this Splunk, right, when you fetch the data and when you install this Splunk on that application, definitely it will give us what actually going on. We can segregate immediately everything, and we can visualize, and we can even stream the data even real time, right? If you are there is a holiday sales, and if you want to order, how the order trend is going on, like how many orders placed per minute, per second, per even per 10 minutes, all those stuff we can visualize from Splunk. And it is enable real-time monitoring and search analysis of machine learning data. And it will provide the alerting as well, right? Apart from that visualization, as I said, right, alerting is nothing but notifications. And it will be helpful for any of the organization, like if it is a small organizations to a big organization. So what actually core functionalities Splunk have, right? Log aggregation and real-time search, monitoring and analytics. So yesterday I told, right, even we discussed. So log aggregation, Splunk has a couple of forwarders, like universal heavy forwarders, and it will collect the data and it will index those log data, and it will make as a searchable. Like I think if someone knows about index, right, that should be fine. But what actually indexing means, like 1 second, I'll try to give you in a good way. So like if you see, right, let's see, this is your log file. How log file will give log file looks like, right? Any container log file, if you say some, they will give some time, like 09, like 023, 3 2024, and some, it will be very junk data, and there will be no lines, all those stuff, and CPU utilization, like that. It will cover, it will be very junk data, where these logs will generate from containers, right? Containers, in a cloud environment, whenever we say cloud environment, and whenever we want to take the logs, right, all the logs will be generated in a container. Whereas if you see on-prem, yesterday I told you, right, there is a cloud and on-prem, right, whatever the JBoss servers, all those stuff, those there will be log files, all the activities, whatever the actions we are performing, like adding the product, and searching the product, and order, placing the order. So everything it will be come in this log file. And this log file, right, if you, it is very unreadable format. So what we will do, right, what Splunk will do, we will install the agents. So in the Splunk, it will call forwarders. So forwarders, we have again two types of forwarders. To, to give more insights, right? Like in cloud, we have uh, uh, GCP mainly, like we have GCP, uh, Azure, and AWS. So for any of the application, right, we need to host that application in GCP. Let's say GCP. What you have done, you have prepared one retail website, right? Like you have prepared in your Eclipse or something, you have used Java, and you have developed, and if it is in your standalone application, if it is working fine, what you will do, you will containerize this application to, like you can dockerize this application, and you will prepare some Docker image. And what you will do, like in GCP, Azure. So these are main important, we need to understand, right? Source. If I just simply say like it's a source of the system, like where it will get, you need to understand what actually source is, right? Like when you consider nowadays, entire market is on cloud based. So if you consider this cloud, right, GCP, Azure, AWS. So in GCP, Azure, AWS, or whatever the cloud, we have containers, like a Docker, the AKS deployment environment where like first we will create our application, we dockerize that application, and we deploy that application into that respective. If you are using cloud GCP, right, you need to deploy that application in your environment, and you can whenever you hit you can access that website. So this is local, this is locally, like you need to write local in our local machine. So what we are doing, we are dockerizing that locally prepared application to like dockerization, containerization. These are the terms you need to understand what actually dockerization means. We will just combine in one image, we will say image, actually that is combine all the code into one place. And when we use Docker, right, so that is an independent platform, wherever we want we can. And this is to install this Docker image, right, we need to have some Kubernetes or like OpenShift platform where we install this deploy this Dockerized image. Like when you deploy this Dockerized image, right, it will provide some IP, and there is a CDN. So these all are irrelevant to this Splunk, but these are the base. Like we need to understand first this why we are using Splunk. And the data, I can say, like I can just sending the data to Splunk. You need to understand what actually how the data is coming to Splunk. If you understand these concepts, right, understanding the Splunk is pretty much easy. Because even my personal experience, people more explain on the indexing, dashboard creation, and all those stuff. When I ask, right, from where the data is coming, like whatever you are saying is correct, so they don't know like how the data is coming to Splunk. So they don't know, like I could see the data in Splunk, then I'll perform operations. So to understand more on that part, right, this is a basic understanding, this core understanding. You should know like how the data is coming to Splunk. And what actually background, this is very high level, I'm just explaining because it's out of scope. Like if you want to move to cloud, right, you can put like 2 to 3 months and you can learn. But in a very high level, in a nutshell, right, I'm just explaining. So how this process will work. So once you deploy this image, and you are able to access your site very well, like in some e-cart application you have created, they will provide some domain name with that IP, and you can access this site in a very well in a production. So once it is in a production, right, so why we will create these sites, all those stuff, to generate some revenue, right, like out of it. Like if I am doing some e-cart application, I'm spending some like $1 million or something, right, I will expect some revenue out of this application, right. People can purchase some items on that, and I could generate some revenue. But if in place of generating revenue, if due to some issues, the site itself goes down, so nothing will we can't do anything, right. So how we can make sure, right, the site is up and running, and whatever that data it is coming, it's legit. To analyze all those things, yesterday I explained in a way, right. And so this Splunk will come. So this is a high level. And another side, right, as I said, this is a cloud environment. So what I said, another one, on-prem servers. On-prem, you need to understand, like if someone knows already, so you are good. But there is a like physical machines also, like where this Java, .NET, and Python, all the code will be written, and it will be deployed in JBoss servers. Let's example like a JBoss server, and here also we'll do same thing. Like we will containerize, and or else we will do some jar file, and we will deploy that application in JBoss server. And from there like we will try to map the domain name, and we will access these are the physical servers. Whenever I say, right, like there will be lot of physical servers. And like whenever these physical servers, right, like whoever using this physical server, those company needs to be manage the cost of this physical server, and each server will cost more. So that's what this cloud come into picture. and the cloud, right? The cloud is a pay as you go. Whatever the servers you want, you can take it up, and whatever servers you don't want, you can shut down those servers without any impact. So this is on-prem. Yesterday I said, right, on-premises. Why you need to understand on-premise, on cloud, all those stuff, for learning the Splunk, right? This is the one. Like these are the base. You need to understand the base. Unless until you don't have understand the base, right? So learning and memorizing those things won't work in real time. So real time you need to understand what actually on-prem data centers. So there is these are the this I am very high level I'm explaining. So from here also what we will do, right? So we will install forwarders, and we will do the indexing, and we will visualize the logs. So this is one part on-prem. Another one is, as we discussed, cloud. Cloud is also one part. First we need to understand these are the base for us to push the logs to Splunk for visualization purpose. So like what agents, right? I'm saying like agents. What agent? What is agent? So agent, what it will do, right? This is daemon. I think you can you know, I don't know. So agent, what it will do, it will, whenever we install the agents on any of the application, right? So it will collect the logs. It will it will be one more I can say, right? If you are using cloud, if you are using Kubernetes cluster, if you know the pod, right? They will act as a one more like a container kind of thing, and it will agree fetch the logs from each of any activity, whatever the metrics it is have, it will grab everything, these forwarders. So in Splunk we will say forwarders, whatever the agents I'm saying, right? That is called forwarder. Even you can install on-prem servers, and you can install the application which is hosted on which is hosted on cloud. So what it will do, it will go and it will fetch all the metrics. So yesterday I keep on saying, right, I need the logs, I need metrics, I need traces. So all those stuff I as part of observability, as part of SLO, SLI. So what I was keep on saying, right, I want to data, right? So all the data, first first pillar, first component is agents. Like not only Splunk, if you go with the Datadog, if you go with the Dynatrace, whatever observability tool, right? It is all are common. Like how the data is coming to this big chunk Splunk. So that they those like the agents will play the key role for getting the data from different environment to like whatever the observability, if you are using Datadog or New Relic or whatever, right? IBM Instana, whatever the tool you are using. So these agents will take the data and it will push it to indexer. And if I put entire data into this Splunk, right, again what I will see, same container logs only it will come, right? So what I need, I don't want whatever the data into generating from containers. So if I put in Splunk, you can just visualize the logs, but you can't do anything, right? What I want, I want the data to be indexed, right? That is called indexes will come into picture. Like if you see, right, if it is a file, like if in your classroom, right? So why indexing is important, if the rule numbers are something, right? So one number is fine, it is coming to one number is coming 68, and one number coming as some lakhs and thousands, and one number coming as 2033. And it is, if it is not an indexing one, and if it is just coming all those as is, right? Low what you will do, this is the file I am, what I am saying, right? Whatever the log generating on those files, I am just visualizing in the Splunk. So what I told, there are two types, where we have cloud, we have on-premise, and where we will install the agents to fetch the data from there, and we will push the data to Splunk. if I'm pushing this similar file to Splunk, right, it is very difficult for me to understand. So whatever there is coming, it is coming here. So no, it will index it what if we want to understand these things, right? First, it should be indexed. So how it will be indexed? How it should index? Indexing, right? Splunk internally, it will divide. Oh, all these logs. So for which host? So it will index based on host. So what it will do, it will take a host from all, and it will generate one index per host, and it will keep all the details related to that host only. You can see all the delayed logs related to that host, and it will be index based on the application as well. So what is application if you have, as I said, right, index is equal to a product, and index is equal to some bag, index is equal to home page. So index is equal to some category page. So these all are it will check, okay, this is the indexing I need to do, and it will perform that indexing, and it will generate application, and a couple of built-in processes are there, and it will generate host, and even I want to understand what how many 500 errors in my application coming, right? It is bit difficult for me to understand from here, right? I need to search control F 500. So nothing it will give. So what it will do, it will give the, it will index. I will show once after installing this Splunk, so that it will be good for you how these things are working. And high level, I am just explaining how things will be. So if you are unable to understand, just to go through this video again, and understand this base terminology, so that you it will be helpful for you to create a couple of dashboards and alerts. So this is a indexing, right? What we were discussing, forwarding, indexing, and search. Once this data properly formed in the a Splunk, right, we can search the data based on a host, based on the response code, based on the a category, product, all the stuff we can do very well. We no need to worry on that part. This is the core concept, guys. First, if you understand this one, right, then second part is very easy. So yeah, alerting we have already discussed, index the data, and what it will do, we will search after that indexing the data, right? What we will do, search and investigate. So we will search, and we will add whatever the report, right? We will generate that report, and we will prepare the alert. Yesterday I told you, right? So we need to create an alert, whatever the data, alert would be. So different kind of alerts, you will be populate with a couple of questions, right, in alerting. So what optimization you have done alerting. So again, right, alert means we have couple of conditions. So in Splunk we can set up an alert. How, that is the proactive monitoring. Yesterday I told you, right? So whenever any issue occurs, issue means we need to define what issue again, high response time, high CPU utilization, high memory utilization, and error count, and huge 5xx errors, and system down. So for that, by using this Splunk tool, and you need to send an alert immediately. If something goes wrong in your application, you need to set up, and you need to send an alert. As I said, right, report and analyze. We can create multiple dashboards, and we can analyze, right? Let's say to trend also. Business will say, I'm not getting revenue, man. Can you check what happening inside? So they just send one mail, and we need to analyze. How we will analyze? We will check what actually products were there in last 1 month or last 6 months. So we will check which is the highest top product was selling, and why that product have been disconnected, and any challenges, anything have been happened to that product, any new addition have been happened. and why any top errors, like any errors preventing customer to place orders, and we will generate that report based on the trends. And last 1 month, how the our system was behaving, how now is it is behaving, and we will say we will generate report. No, nothing is there in our application since 3 months, because I didn't see any 4xx 5xx errors, and I even didn't see any errors or exception. I didn't see any anomalies. This could be legitimate, people are not interested to purchase something, that's why our application is coming with a bit low revenue, but we will monitor and we will make sure it should not happen like that. This way, like as a Splunk engineer or as an observability engineer, you should be in a good on articulation as well, right? Reading the dashboard, it's not enough. You should not send a screenshot of those dashboards to customer. He will throw away, like, what man, like what you are sending, like, so that you need to generate a summary. You need to analyze, and you need to explain what actually going on side. Let's say in a different scenario, right? You can explain, like, yeah, this after this change last month I could see more 5xx errors. So those 5xx errors are restricting couple of users to place an order. So this could be the reason actually. So I think I will work with the respective teams, and I will fix that issue. In my real time also, I used to, like, when business asked me, hey, Abdul, like, evaluate something, something goes wrong, then I used to take this Splunk only, and I used to evaluate what I used to start with the 5xx errors, 5xx 500, right? 503, 504, 500, like whenever system goes down, this whenever system goes down, these alerts will come. This is a basic process, those alert mechanism, and I used to identify what change have been happened, from where those errors are coming, last 1 month or last 3 months, like when those errors got increased. And I used to relate any changes have been happened. Changes is nothing but code deployment have been happened, or any software upgrade have been happened, or any server decommission have been happened. Well, sometimes these are the couple of issues in real time, right? So these are the real issues as well, right? Whenever any server decommission have been happened, and if you provision, like you referring that server request, like whatever the request coming, right, it will go to the failed server, and the customer is unable to they will unable to process their requirements. So this is main important, and to understand. So as I said, right, data collection and indexing, like if you see even so multiple ways, like if you take any real time, like we will have social icons. From there it will collect the data. Web services, it will collect the data. Online services, it will collect. Security, it will collect. So these are all our data collection and index sources, like whenever your application, right, your application combination of a couple of things or all of the things, and it will collect the data, and it will send it to it will collect the data by using agents, and it will index, and it will send it to Splunk. Splunk also internally have their storage, and all it will store internally. We will won't discuss much on this Splunk storage. It is a built-in process, as I said, right? We will create a custom dashboards, and we will generate the report, and we will set up the alerts. So like as I mentioned, right, this is the forwarders, whatever the like agents I was mentioning, these are the agents. Well, it like this is the Splunk indexer, the forwarders will take the fetch the data or metrics from multiple applications, and it will send it to the indexer. What indexer will do, it will perform proper indexing, and it will give to the Splunk. From Splunk we will do the searching. So this one yesterday I explained, right? The monolithic architecture and microservices architecture. Why this helpful for us, and so this is the one we have already discussed. So AI also nowadays very much important, right? look, it will take the data from content and user developer interfaces and like core engines, and so like there are the UI and APIs, SDKs, UI, right? Web performance also we will validate, and API logs also we will validate, and server logs, SDK logs also. Like couple of servers will go into bad state due to memory, right? That will also we will validate. All those things we can do and we can perform. So I'm just put it in an like a way. So this is the cloud, right? As we discussed on premises as well, right? So in on-premise, on-premise deployment involve hosting IT infrastructure and application within organizations' physical data centers or private cloud. So in cloud as well, they are providing private cloud, like where you need to put much amount, but there will be some challenges. Like this on-premise will be the like we need to spend lot of amount for this on-prem, but sometimes we can say it is very secure, but it is not that much because the clouds also like providing good security features for us. We no need to bother about that. Like a cloud I have already explained, right? This is the one. I have shared the first slides yesterday, I think. So this is the, if we go with Splunk high level architecture, right? So scalability, flexibility, and high performance. As I said, right, scalability means in Splunk also, like we have different environment. I think yesterday I have explained, right? Scalability means so one second. Uh, So what scalability and these are also a couple of terms you need to understand. So what is scalability? Like if I have big application and like Splunk will say whatever the application like you have, mm, as I said, right, so machine learning data itself is a big chunk. So like give it to me, I will index it, and I will make a proper report out of it. So in that, right, the scalability, I'm just giving what actually scalability is. So whenever you are performing, right, like any operations, and let's say Splunk itself, what Splunk will do based on your data, first whatever the data will come, right, it will store in only one Splunk server, it will process. But if your organization is very huge, right, what it will do, it will create more instances. So this is a, this one also very important, guys. Like even in cloud environment also, scalability is very much important. So whenever you are working, right, so whatever the, let's say this Splunker is this Splunk instance is capable enough to handle 1 million requests. But what your application is doing, you have like your like application given some promotions or due to holiday season, like if it comes if we sent more data, right, more than 1 million, this will be exhausted, like you won't get anything, like even real time as well, right? Whenever in I can say I used to perform operational support during holiday season. Holiday season, in US there are Thanksgiving Day, Black Friday, and Cyber Monday, right? So in normally daily, if we see 1 lakh requests per day, on Thanksgiving Day we used to see 15 lakhs, like 1.5 million requests on particular day. So everyone used to interested to search in that Splunk, and Splunk also used to get a lot of data. So on peak hours, whenever like want to see some report, right? So this Splunk used to get an exhausted way. So no one used get nothing. Like it was saying, like keep on. It was showing like the search query is pending, for like getting that report. So what Splunk will tell, right? Like based on your subscription and purchase model and those things, it will give some more instances, right? You no need to bother about the scalability. So what it will do, right? If the request flow is 1 million, it will provision one more instance and it will serve the traffic from two instances. This is Splunk. Splunk will be the scalable, like even we have it, they will provide like a non-prod, even testing environment is Splunk as well, because performance test we will perform, right? Like how the performance test will be. So for that also, this Splunk will provide some instance so that we can do perform. That is the scalability of an application. Like whatever the traffic you are sending, right? It won't impact anything on your application. Even though you can take the scalability on cloud as well, right? In cloud, so whenever you, I think, come across on cloud, they will provide even Azure and AWS and Google. So they will say, right, we have scalable application, like our cloud is very much scalable, and based on your setup, like based on your requirement, you can increase the instances and you can decrease the instances. And like why cloud is important, right? If I want to provision this instance, it's a single click. You can just add one more addition, it will generate create one instance within couple of seconds in cloud, whereas in on-premise data center, right? So whenever you want to add some server, physical server, right, it will take days. So so that is a big advantage. And as I said, right, this is scalability also very much important. Like why I need to understand the scalable, I just want to create dashboards and alerts and right. So why I need to understand the scalability of an application, what I will get. So you will get, you can understand, right, in your like Splunk. So if you have given the task, hey, why don't you set up this Splunk infrastructure to our application, right? You should understand what is the base for our application, like a base for this Splunk. And you need to check with the Splunk team as well, like how much like scalability you will provide. Like this is my data, like how many instances you will create for the data. They will say, yeah, we have so good scalability in place, and you can take this much of data kind of thing. So that whenever initial level, you need to understand that scalability of so this is very high level, as I mentioned, right? If you see internal architecture, so because these are the key things you need to understand more. Once you will understand, right? So this already discussed, like a forwarder, indexer, search heads, it will come and it will deploy. This document I will share after this class. So main features, right? A simplified deployment. You can easily install that agents, right? As I said, forwarders, and like you can generate the report immediately. Cost effective. It is like as I said, right? Scalability and how the single environment Splunk looks like. Even not single environment, comparatively, this cost very less, and distributed, like we will give high scalability. This is single environment. This is like a distributed environment architecture. Like Splunk also will provide multiple instances, high availability, right? And improved performance. These key things. So whenever interview were asked you, why don't you tell me? You if you say, right, no, whenever the requests come more, like if you see more requests to site, and Splunk is capable enough to handle that, I know. They'll ask what actually that is called. You should, terminology is very much important, guys. Like the scalable. If you say, right, yeah, I know the scalability actually. So if you send whatever the data you want, you can send it. The Splunk is having a scalability feature where it is automatic. provision more instances based on the traffic. So that instances we know, right? We will predict the traffic, like without which, right? If you have 10 lakh, like 1 million traffic to your site, right? If you provision like 3 servers, one server itself is capable enough to handle 1 million requests, right? And 2 servers will be waste. You no need to purchase those 2 servers when you go with the cloud. This Splunk also, like they provide their own cloud, and they can give only one instance, and if you get more data, right? So like you it will be scalable and high availability, right? So sometimes Amazon or Flipkart, and on holiday season or any promotion, right? So the like they will expect the traffic of 2 millions or 10 millions due to that good offers, good feature, right? Not all the time. Sometimes due to that huge traffic, that application will goes down. It is unable to capable enough to handle. So if that is the case, right, even like in my experience as well, right, we thought of 1 million customers to our site, and we predicted, right, we predicted our traffic for 10,000 requests per 10 minutes. So what has happened during holiday season, all of a sudden 20,000, that doubled whatever the data, like whatever the traffic to site, it was doubled, and we could see huge traffic to our site, and our size goes down immediately, and we were in on-prem. So we reached out to DBA team. We could see very huge log. They said no, 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 it will take some time, and we made down our site intentionally for 6 hours. So it was a big loss, right? Due to infrastructure we are making down, and it is big, like a bad customer experience. Customers were waiting since days and months, and they were unable to place the order. So this is high availability. So scalability, availability, and improved performance, right? We have load balancing. So these are key core features. For now, like if you are already familiar, that is well and good. If you don't know, that is also no need to worry. But to understand the core things, right? So I am just explaining these things. And data injection, and indexing, as I said, universal forwarders and heavy forwarders, right? They will do indexing at their side itself. And so this we already discussed. So this is a I just put it in like a UI so that it will understand for you. Okay. Yeah, I am done for today. So tomorrow, right, this is the core concepts. Like if you are understand very well, if you are unable to understand also, no need to worry, go through. But without which, without understanding these concepts, right, if you understood this Splunk, like if you complete the course and if you are attending the interviews, right, you won't be get much confidence. You can, like if during interviews you need to ask them, you can give the scenario, I can write the query. No, it is not. Whatever the query you are writing, right, it you should understand what actually going on in that, so that it will be helpful. So if you understood these concepts, but SLA, SLI, SLO, on-prem, cloud, and all those things, like whatever I have discussed till now, right? So whatever the tool, right, like a Splunk or Dynatrace or Datadog or New Relic, you can apply. These are the common principles. Whatever I deep dive, right? So those are the common principles, and you can apply them. Like if you take in place of Splunk Datadog, same thing. It will have agents, and it will index, and it will provide the visualization and alerting mechanism. So tomorrow, make sure you have connected through laptop, and be ready with one Gmail account and one proper working mobile number. And I will help you to create a Splunk Enterprise free trial from your machine as well. so that you can parallelly work with me. Like we will, as I said, right, it's not a kind of lecture to student kind of thing. It will be more interactive way. So yeah, Rajesh.
Yeah, hi sir.
Yeah,
So
hi.
actually, I had a question. Like yesterday, I was not able to attend the session. So I would like to understand like how Splunk is different from the monitoring tools. Like, is it same Splunk and monitoring tools like Dynatrace, AppDynamics? Is it same or it is different than that?
So those are like features. So if you say Datadog, right, Rajesh? Good question. So Datadog will provide the flexibility, and like a Datadog, in Datadog, you will see this one. What I can say, right? Anomaly detection and prediction. So it is single click operation. You no need to worry to define all those things. As you mentioned, Dynatrace. Dynatrace, it has its whole some unique features, right? Dead Dynatrace, we can drill down more. We can visualize more, and we can do pure paths as well, right? So they have their own feature. Like they will highlight, like if you are using a Dynatrace, like you can get these pure paths, and like it will give some directly when you install the Dynatrace agents. Again, same concept, then it will give on single click operation, you could see all the dashboards in one place, whereas here you need to do some manual effort. So all are, like as I said, right, all are monitoring tool. They have each monitoring tool has their unique feature. If you comparatively price as well, right, APM as well, if you say Dynatrace will give good APM, application performance monitoring, and traces. We can easily visualize. Even Splunk also you can create, but the easy of use, right, Rajesh? Like if you are spending much, you will get the luxury, right? And the price and the features as well. All are monitoring systems. All are a core target is evaluating the performance of the application, and some of them differ based on their unique features. That's it. So core thing is same. Like some companies will prefer Splunk, some companies will prefer Datadog, like a very huge data, and they want they are able to spend, there is no issues on billing, so they will prefer Datadog. And they have Dynatrace, right? So it will be helpful whenever you are having on-prem, like this Splunk and Dynatrace will helpful for that, Rajesh. Hope I'm answered your question.
Uh, okay. So, suppose if we
Hmm.
can use any one of them. Suppose if I have Dynatrace, so then I don't
Hmm.
need Splunk. Like the same thing which Splunk is doing, that can be done by Dynatrace as well.
Yes, if you don't want any other tool, you can evaluate. But as I said, right, features wise, every tool has its own feature. Even for now, I am evaluating 4 to 5 tools evaluation, right? That's why they are giving a free trial, Rajesh. Like your infrastructure, your environment would be different, and my environment, my infrastructure would be different. So what I will take this free trial, and I will evaluate whether whatever the requirements which I want. Like for me, right, I want to connected or it's totally depends on requirement. I will give good example. If there are SaaS based applications, right, SAP and a couple of SaaS based applications, they won't allow us to install the agents, right? Like if you go with the Dynatrace will have their MOU. They can We can install the Dynatrace in agents in that SAP based application. So what would you prefer? Splunk, you don't want to install the agents, right? Then definitely we will prefer the Dynatrace. and secondary cost. Like if you comparatively, if you see the less cost on any other observability tool, and you are least bothered about the agents installed on the SaaS based application, right? Then you will go to the other tool, Rajesh. So that's why any tool like Datadog, Dynatrace, Splunk, they will give the free trial. You need to trail, you need to that's what, right? I'm just to keep on saying, we need to understand the requirement, and we need to understand the infrastructure, and we need to understand features which any of the observability tool is giving. So not only Splunk, this is a core thing, Rajesh. You need to understand it is not single time decision, like you are using a Splunk, yeah, I can use Splunk only, whatever the features. No, couple of companies like will use both Splunk and Dynatrace both as well. But Splunk they will install on a website, like a web performance side, homepage, PDP, and like a back page for order confirmation, like where the backend logic is there, right? They will prefer Dynatrace. Even I used to have Akamai Impulse, and I used to work with Grafana, like Splunk and Dynatrace. All are one customer only. I used to evaluate all these things. But that is also right. When I took Impulse, I used to evaluate, even though Splunk also will give, but the Impulse will give in a good visibility. Customers don't, like, they have their own budget and they are ready to like pay, then you can use. So this is the evaluation period, Rajesh. So whenever you have been given a task, so you need to evaluate, and it is not straightforward thing whether if I am using Splunk, why I don't use a simple way. Like if you so many brands of cars, right? If I use like all the features, it will same. Like if you are using Maruti Wagoner, like it's very less cost, and there are bench, all those things, right? So it's totally based on your requirement and your pay, right? So everything will be you. Someone wants very fast, someone wants luxury, someone wants, right? Similar way, I'm just giving, it's not a relevant example, but similar way, this Splunk also one of the tool. It is like easy of use, I can say. When you say, right, cloud also will provide stack driver. If you see Google will provide Google monitoring suite, but and the monitoring will be the less priority for them. Like they have their own like 80%, but only 20 to 30%. But that is also we can use in Azure also, right? Azure we have application insights. So like even though Azure provides that, we will push the logs to Splunk and we will evaluate that. Why Azure cost more on application insights, where Splunk is cost less, and same like visibility we can see here and there. Why I need to pay much there? So I will forward that to like Splunk. And once you're familiar with the Splunk, right, it is very helpful for to creating the dashboard and putting the alerts. That's what this trial phase like they will give, Rajesh. And even you can't install directly in production, so there will be process like when you are working, so you need to do evaluate in any of the non-prod environment, testing environment. Then only you can choose like like it's not a 1 day or 2 day task to evaluate any of the tool. It will take days, months as well. Even I did a couple of tool evaluation and I have given it is good. Then customers say, Abdul, we are not that much of we can't pay that much of subscription. Now you can check any other open source tool like that. And like that, it's totally based on the customer requirement, Rajesh.
Okay. Okay, and
Hope
the
I'm
concept which you have, yeah, yes,
yeah.
yeah. And one more question was like that, like we were discussing regarding one of the slide that you were discussing about scalability, availability,
Exactly.
yeah,
Yes.
all those terms which you are using. So, like what I know is that that is applicable to the application performance, okay, or the application server, where we would like our application to be scalable or available,
Available.
so
Mm.
yeah, so that term is you have used for Splunk as well, like if
Yes,
suppose
Splunk will have multiple instances. Like
okay,
yeah, go ahead, Rajesh. Yeah. Yeah, Splunk,
yeah, yeah,
Dynatrace. anything, like they will provide multiple instances. They have their own cloud. They have they build the infrastructure, Rajesh, that will applicable that way, that says that side as well. Like if you are working on Splunk, right? Splunk, like you are explained, like you said. So while it is not only application, Splunk also one product. You need to take care on the scalability, availability, and reliability there itself. Let's say you are owner of Splunk, right? You are working for Splunk itself. Then you customer is different companies, right? Then you should make sure, like whatever the Splunk you are working, like you are building, it will be scalable, right? Rajesh, think in this way, like not on like a customer based, like a service based. Like you are building your application, right? You should know in Splunk also it's not. Like I can say cookbook type of product. They do lot of development from back end so that they can provide this much of feasibility, Rajesh.
Okay. Okay.
Good
Yeah.
question.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah, that's what, right? We even like on initial days, I used to like confuse, like why is Splunk is scalable, man? Why I need to bother, like I just using their product, right? Yeah, like that too. One core thing I just want to highlight: data ingestion, data whatever you are saying, right? All this tool will cost on the data, right? You should make sure whatever the data is you are sending, you should understand, like you should not junk, you should not send all the junk data to Splunk, right? Like you should identify what application you want to evaluate. You should not entirely send all the data. Like they'll cost each whatever the tools I am highlighting here, right? Entirely we will get the billing and data ingestion. Ingestion means we are pushing the data, and we should make sure, like I have product service and back service, order confirmation service, right? And even home page. I don't want homepage data. I don't want why, like it will come. I just focus on order confirmation data only. I can push like entire site data. I'm pushing to that Splunk, even though a couple of them is we can monitor with open source tools, right? It will cost more. Data ingestion also very much important. I'm just highlighting this as well, and retention period as well, like how many days you want. So that data retention at Splunk and data retention and any of the monitoring tool, they will archive, and whenever we want, right, we can fetch the data. So these are the core components.
Okay.
Okay, I am done. I think we almost done. Time 8:33. So I'm stopping recording here.